All right, we've got some breaking news here from Woj this afternoon. The Portland Trail Blazers are working on a deal to send CJ McCollum to the Pelicans, who've been looking for backcourt help as they wait on Zion Williamson's return from injury. The full deal includes a package of players and picks, including Larry Nance Jr. heading to the Pelicans and Josh Hart, a couple of former Lakers, heading to the Blazers. Woj says the teams are still trying to hammer out the final details. So the Pelicans get a shooter, and we've got one of our own, one of the best ever shooters here, JJ Redick. JJ, what do you think about the Pelicans trading for CJ?
It wasn't too far ago that I was shooting for the Pelicans as well. We don't know the health and status of Zion going forward for the rest of this season. I think this trade certainly puts them in a position where they can compete for that play-in spot. I don't think it gets them into that top 6 in the Western Conference. If you're David Griffin and his front office, this is year 3 of this rebuild. You haven't had Zion on the court a ton except for last year. And this team probably has underachieved relative to some expectations over the last 3 years. So I do think this is a good deal for the Pelicans, but it's not going to get them over the hump in the short term. In the long term, of course, everybody's talking about Zion's happiness in New Orleans, whether or not he's going to sign his extension. And this certainly bolsters their chances going forward.
I want to go quickly on this because I want to get to the Dame side of this. But throughout NBA history, usually the team getting the best player in the deal wins the deal. That may be changing a little bit in recent years, but you never want to break a dollar into 4 quarters. You want to turn 4 quarters into a dollar. What is CJ McCollum? Is he a 50-cent piece? Like, what is CJ? He looks like the best player in this deal.
Yeah, he's a dollar. Let's be very clear on that. And actually, I've asked him about this before, where he sort of sees himself in the NBA hierarchy, and he's not going to compare himself to other players, but he is an elite NBA player. Mm-hmm. And there's no question he's an elite shooter, an elite shot maker. He helps this team right away.
Let's talk about the other side of that, and this is the end of an era in Portland. We've been hearing that they want to retool around Dame, but it doesn't feel like that's what they're doing in this deal, does it?
This season for them is a wash. Let's be very clear. And Dame said after last season, we got to be better. We need more pieces. Neil O'Shea, to start, did not deliver on that. He's obviously gone. This deal doesn't do that either. I think this is a deal looking towards the future. If Dame Lillard re-signs his extension this summer, they have $60 million in cap space. They have a trade exception. They have a first-round pick. The one player in this deal that I would like to see play more is Nickeil Alexander-Walker. And he's shown as a starter in New Orleans that he can be a 3-level scorer, and he's just not gotten a huge opportunity this year.
So just minutes ago, literally like right before the show started, we got word of another Woj bomb. The Indiana Pacers sending Sabonis with Jeremy Lamb and Justin Holiday to the Sacramento Kings for Tyrese Halliburton. Buddy Hield's in the deal. It's the first I'm hearing about this. And Tristan Thompson. They got Halliburton and Hield? JJ, we've heard the Kings want to build around De'Aaron Fox. Now they get the Pacers' most consistent player. They gave up a lot to get him, it looks like. What do you think about this deal?
I'm still scratching my head at this deal. If I'm the Kings, I'm not giving up Tyrese Halliburton. He's been even better in his second year than he was in his rookie year. They also just traded away their 2 best 3-point shooters in Tyrese and Buddy Hield around a guy in Sabonis that doesn't shoot threes. It's a head-scratcher for me. If I'm Indiana and I've got a chance to get one of the top young guards in this league in a situation where this team's not going anywhere this year, I take that chance. I like this deal for Indiana. For the Kings, it doesn't make sense to me.
Halliburton, even in the draft, it was like, boy, this guy's floor looks pretty good.
Yeah.
And it's panning out that way. And Buddy Hield, I don't know.
I went to the Knicks game last week with my 7-year-old to see Tyrese play. He's a close friend of mine. And I would say this about him. Bias aside, the guy just plays basketball the right way.
Yeah.
He makes the right play. He makes the right read. There's nothing forced. He's a great defender. I love this deal for Indiana. I really do.